Today, we're going to talk about doubts, desires, and the power of decision. Really, what we're talking about is how the secret and what the bleep got it wrong. I am your host, Lia Dunlap, and you are listening to the Oracle on Purpose podcast, where we help intentional leaders clarify their purpose and next steps to create a work and life of significance. All right. I have a question for you. Do you know what doubts, desires, and the power of decision have in common? Those are the secret structures behind manifestation. What do I mean by that? We have to know what the doubts are, right? Because those are the underpinnings of the desires that we have. And the bridge between the two is simply this: decision, choosing. Not from a place of fear and lack, distrust, disharmony, frustration. Instead, choosing to make a decision based on your purpose, based on what you have inside of you that is uniquely yours to offer. And you hear me say that over and over and over again. And the funny part of it is that it's one of those layered revelations. Someone will come to me, and I've had many people in my past manifestation courses, the power plan that we did, where we talked about, what do you want? What do you really, really want? And you'll hear, and I would hear, them circle around, okay? They wouldn't even get to what they want before they're off on this tangent about why they can't have it. Sound familiar? Or that what they really want is so scary to say out loud that they couch it. They pick things that they feel like they should have, or that are plausible, probable, approvable by other people. Right now, in this time that we're in, there are no more excuses for waiting to make a decision based really on who you are and what you, in your heart of hearts, know you are meant to deliver. And here's why. People are dying right now all around. People are leaving this planet, some of them with work left undone. And it behooves you, I implore you, to listen. Listen to that voice inside of you that says, I know that I know inside my heart, inside my bones, that there is something I was meant to do that I keep pushing back, right? How do you push it back? Distraction, right? So distraction looks like random accidents that happen to you, people pulling your attention away, others needing you to be the way you used to be. All of this clamoring, right? This energetic clamoring around you to pull you away from that pure voice within, from the direction, right, that's given to you as a birthright. The thing is, it's not given to you for you. That's the part that I spent this morning sharing with a client, which is like, this is yours to do because people need you to do it. Others need you. The universe, the world, God, creation, creator, all that is needs that from you. Only you can deliver it, just like you are, as long as you do it 100%. As long as you decide to focus on that part that's yours to offer. That means no more hiding. That means no more excuses. That means that you're going to have to show up, as you say, put your big girl pants on and claim what and who you really are. Of course, I tend to work with people that have a gift, if you will, that they have an intuition, they have a knowingness about them. That's who I attract, people like that. And others, by the way, that don't necessarily fall into that category. But those who I attract, that have a sense inside of them that they have a special gift of intuition or guidance, they're the ones typically that in this position, they find themselves just coming to the edge, right? Coming right up to it and then falling back. And there's a couple of reasons this happens. The first reason is that it's freaking scary. It's like, I did this Facebook Live once and I said, why do we still burn witches, right? And by that I mean, why do we burn, right? Why do we cast out those who we think are different? It doesn't, it still feels like the others who are raising their head above the waterline, right? They're calling us to do the same. So that level of wanting people to be homogenized and similar is starting to fall apart, right? That paradigm, if you will, is starting to crumble. And what's happening right this moment in our time, in our lives, is the universe in that crumbling is pleading with us to show up, to be the light bearers, to be the voice of reason, to be the guides that we were naturally born to be 100% of the time, right? So it's not like you get to be the masked crusader who goes out at night after you've done your regular job and you go off and get to be this wild, phenomenal, amazing healer, powerful leader, goddess, shaman, whatever you feel that is inside of you to come, this amazing leader who speaks truth to power, this strong, steady rock of witness. The person who calls others out to their own greatness. That is what the universe is asking for right now from every one of you that's listening to me. And as I was talking to my client this morning about this, the words she was saying are these. It brings tears to my eyes. And I stood up and I did this work. I became that spiritual coach, that guide. And as I was doing it, it brought me to tears, she said. It brought me to tears. And she said, it's bringing me to tears now, just sharing it. Those tears of relief, really, of your system feeling like, oh, I can finally breathe. I can let that go. And as we were talking, I shared this analogy and I want to share it here because it landed for her. And I'm sure if that's the case, it's going to land for others that have this same cycle that they're in, which is that doubt to, right, belief, that shift from one place to the other, the plane moving from one side to the other. And that was, look, you're about to move through this next ascended level. And the entryway, right, the foray to that space is only so big. And the resistance you're feeling is the fact that your arms are like, just, you know how that is, like that mom who's carrying 27 bags on each arm, right? But I can still go. It's like, no, you're at this stretch point where it's making it clear you cannot bring that with you. You cannot bring those burdens with you anymore. To ascend to the next level, you must let go. You have to let go of the doubts, of bringing up anything that happened in your past as a weapon against yourself, of carrying the burden of past mistakes and doubts into your next level. The weight of expectations of others and of self-incrimination. You must release any idea that you are responsible to compare yourself to others who have either gone before you or are going along with you. There's a great line, I can't think of who said it, so I'm going to just say that out right now, which is, this is your journey and it's unique to you. It can't look the same way for anybody else. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't look the same way for anybody else because it's not the same. And not being the same means that you are perfectly designed to take the next step. You are right now, in this moment, able to say yes to that inner calling. And when you do, magical things happen. And I don't care. I'm going to say it. Magical things happen. This client was saying, she was at a point of making a decision between really diving in and standing in that power or going back to her quote unquote day job. And what I realized while we were talking was, because I channel for my clients Monday through Friday, I spend time channeling for my clients. And the thing that it kept coming around for me was that it was time for her to make a decision, to choose. And as she was talking, I was like, oh, now I see where that hint was coming from, right? That nudge was coming from. And the thing about it was, I got to see through her eyes as she was speaking it, that decision had started in our prior session. And as she really started to step into the decision, things that she couldn't really explain started happening, right? She received business on her other job, as it were, with less effort. And on top of that, she showed up to it so fully herself, ready to let it go, ready to be like, this isn't for me if it's not for me. And really in that moment claimed who she was. And the people said, yes, we want you, the real you. And she was like, imagine, right? So it's like those doubts that we have, those old hurts, the old wounds, the things that we think make us wrong somehow, they are not going to help us move to the next level. And holding on to them, right? Looking at them, picking them up and carrying them forward just keeps us stuck. Literally kind of banging into that wall, that doorway, if you will. And we can't figure out why we can't get through. But the second we let it all go, we're free to move forward to the next level lighter, more buoyed by our own faith and belief and who we really are, because that never goes away. The essence of who we are stays with us all the days of all of our lives. And, to me, this is where, like I said, the magic happens. The understanding that knowing what your purpose is isn't a burden. It is the key, right? Knowing what your purpose is the key to the freedom you seek. It's the thing that brings you closest to your highest, best. And what's beautiful about that, especially if you're one like myself and others who serve others, it brings the best of you to them so that they can also be closest to their highest. It's not about being selfish, and can feel scary to claim something so bold and unapologetic and visceral that's in you, right? It can feel like, I was thinking about this, I was just about to sit down, it can feel like your baby, right? It can feel like something you've kept clustered and cloistered and inside of you for so long, that the idea of like putting it out there is scary. What if they don't like it? What if nobody asks me to do the thing I think I'm meant to do? What if I'm not good enough? What if you're even better than you could have ever imagined? And what if someone is desperately waiting for you to show up? I had another client today that had been talking about meeting with a public figure. And part of what she talks about is communication and really messaging and things like that. And so she'd been talking for a while about like how to reach out and how to connect with this person. And then sent me a post today about them really getting themselves in hot water and thinking, she said, you know, we were kind of looking at the picture together going, what if you had made that call? What if that connection? What if they had picked up the other line? Knowing you could have helped them through this, right? Knowing you could have been there to perhaps change the trajectory of what happens. And it's not too late. You know, it's not too late for her or for him, you know, to make that change. It's just the recognition. Suddenly she can see it for herself, like, oh, if I had had that conversation, perhaps this would have changed things. That's it. That's how simple it is, right? Not easy, but simple. There's a purity to it that once you figure out what it is, you start to recognize it, and it takes an evolution, an internal evolution. And as that evolution grows and as that gestation period happens, at the other side, you start to see the fruits, if you will, of your labor. And sometimes in hindsight, you look back and go, oh, missed opportunity. And the lesson then is, right? The lesson from a missed opportunity isn't to blame yourself or beat yourself up for the opportunity being missed, but to recognize it the next time it happens and decide to do something different, right? Decide to do something different. Do something that is aligned with who you really are. Show up 100% of the time and let people see you. You know, we talk so much about visibility, especially online, and authenticity. And there's this part of like, be authentic. It's like, just be you. Being authentic isn't about false authenticity, which sounds weird, but I've seen it. You know, you've seen it too, where it's like, oh, this is me, and oh, my house is messy, right? That kind of showing the dirty underwear, the dirty laundry, but really the real authenticity, that's inside. That's an inside job. That's saying, not that I'm messed up, because honestly, I think sometimes it's much easier for people to say that they're messed up, right? At least from a surface level. It's I remember being broken, or I'm growing into pieces of me that are shifting me. That's authenticity. And to that point, I myself have gone through places where I let those doubts take over, right? And it's because I hadn't positioned myself to make the decision based on my purpose. And I know when I've done it, it's because I've been looking at what other people have thought I should be. There was a time once when I'm laughing because I'm remembering back to this time when I was like, when I came out, if you will, as the oracle, and I was like, how do I be an oracle? I need more crystals. I need more flowy. I need more this. I need more that. And the picture on my website, I think, says it all. There's no flowy, new agey feel to it. There's a regalness in that picture that I love, honestly. And it's because it feels like I look at that picture and I see me, and I'm an oracle, right? It's like, so it's okay. But for a long time, I played with this idea of how to be that, thinking it was something else. And that, to me, that's when the doubts start to mess with us. That's how they undermined us being aligned in our purpose, right? And that's how it happened for me. Like, I started to look at how I was supposed to show up that way. And then I remember looking at that picture. I remember picking out that dress, honestly, and stepping into it, and I knew it was me. I looked in the mirror and I was like, that's me. That's me. And all of my passion, my purpose, my power, I felt it. And I know that when I step into that, then I show up in my sessions better. Then my clients are getting better results. Then the people who need what I have to offer get it without all of the confusion, without any of distraction, without any, what's the word I'm looking for? Static, right? Have you ever been with someone and you know something, like there's a message behind what they're saying and you're like, I hear you, but I feel like there's something off. That's static. That's not being authentic, right? That's inauthenticity. So to me, when we talk about being authentic, it's being purely who you are. And not so that you're saying others are different or worse or better, but that you're okay. You're exactly what you need to be. And I really can't think of anything better than that. I can't think of any better way to hear a client respond to me when I see them stepping into that. When they reach back out to me and say, I did it. I did it just like me. I didn't make it anything else. I said it my own way, in my own rhythm, with my own passion for what I want to say. And it worked. And sometimes it worked even better than they expected. And sure, sometimes they needed my little nudge, on the shoulder to say, come on, give it a try. What do you have to lose? And yet, honestly, that's them all the time. It's just that sometimes we cover it up. Sometimes we tell it to go sit down in the back of the room because we don't think other people will appreciate it. And to me, that's the heartache. So the next time you find yourself in a place where you're choosing without that real authentic center, ask yourself, who's going to miss out? What is the world losing when you don't show up? And in that moment, recognize that it's happening right then if you're not being real. Be authentic. Be on purpose. And know the difference. I'm excited because I'm working on something new, and it still holds a lot of what I've been working on for the last 25 years is the core of what I teach for my Power Plan book. And it's this great moment where I see the two coming together, a synergy, if you will, of how to really deliver that message in a way that people can really embrace it and be supported. And so the container is getting built right now. You've seen me mention some of that here, and it's getting built and it's growing, and I can feel the energy of it coming. And what I want to share with those of you who are watching this and have been watching my lives for a while now is I'm looking for people to go into that container. And what I mean by that is people that are ready to step into the juiciness of making choices. Making choices, overcoming doubts, seeing how that space in time where, if you've ever watched The Secret or What the Bleep, that there is this activity piece that was missing. And it left a lot of people longing and wanting and even feeling frustrated that they didn't get it right. Oh, that makes me so mad. It's like, cannot get it wrong. I promise you just have to do it again, right? As long as you're breathing, anything is possible. And that's the container we're getting ready to build. That's the container I'm putting all of my good energy into bringing together, because I absolutely know that 2020 can be the most phenomenal year ever. And I'm holding that container, and I'm spending time right now. And if you've seen me reach out to you, it's because I see you in that container. And if you're like, I want to be in that container, then reach out to me and we'll talk about what it's going to take. And it's coming soon. So I will be opening to the grand public, if you will, soon enough. But I am looking to you if you're watching this. Hey, Jennifer, nice to see you. I am looking around with that energy meter, if you will, to say, who do we get to play with? Who is ready to overcome their doubts and to really find the power of decision and allow that to help them to go higher and higher and higher, level by level by level. And we're talking about quantum leaps in levels, a magical space held together by practical tools and steps, and the support of the Oracle, and the support of someone like myself who has both been in the coaching world for a long time and in the corporate world and knows sales and marketing and all of those things to help the container stay strong and steady, so that the people in it can really let go. They can really show up, be authentic, and like my client today, can really hum with their own internal joy and know that what they come to deliver is being received. So if you're interested in being in that container, then please reach out. Post below if you'd like to know more about that container, and or send me a PM. Either way, I'm holding that space and I'm calling y'all in. So if you're out there and you're listening to this and you've been thinking, this can't be the end, right? 2020 has got to get better. Or 2020 has already started to be really good for you, but you're just not sure if you've really let all of you out, then it is time to come and play. We're going to hold you accountable in a beautiful, supportive, and practical way so that you can deliver that. Whatever your unique life purpose and gift is, I guarantee you the world is looking for it right now. And I want to make sure you have exactly that playing field that you need to manifest it with joy, with ease, with laughter and friendship and camaraderie, and with real talk, right? Get rid of those extra bags. Let them go. Take all of those extra coats and weights off of you. Layer by layer, let yourself breathe. And know that that's the container you'll be stepping into. So, I'm going to go. Been on for a while. I want you to know, without a doubt, I am absolutely sure that if you are watching this right now, you are here on purpose. You are here to make the difference that only you can make. And if you want to come and play in an accelerated field for purpose and prosperity, then make sure you say something below and I'll reach out to you. Take care. Bye now. Thanks for tuning in to the Oracle on Purpose show. If you found value in this episode, we'd appreciate you leaving a comment. Also, you can subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet. If you'd like to get clear on your highest vision and next steps, go to oracleonpurpose.com. See you next week.